Hey guys, and welcome. Today I'm going to be going over the Cel-Fi ROAM R41 product. So some of you might have seen this already. It's a brand new Cel-Fi product that's just been released, and it's designed for mobile or transit applications. So it's different in size than the current G31 that it's going to replace, and we're excited to bring you this product. And today I'm going to share a bit of information on the overview of it, some accessories, how you set it up, and all the ports that it's actually got on there as well. So look forward to taking you through it. So Cel-Fi products. Cel-Fi products are divided now into three different categories. So we've got our mobile category, we've got our residential and commercial category, we've got our enterprise grade products. And the mobile products are now actually moving away from the term Go, and Nextivity have replaced them with the ROAM series. So the first in the ROAM series will be the ROAM R41, and which is coming soon in the next month or two. So that'll replace the Go G31 mobile and the Go G32 mobile as well. So quite exciting. So this is where it fits in the range. As you can see, we've got our residential and commercial products there. Again, the G31 and the G32 will be replaced, and the C41 Connect and G41. And then we get our G51 in the enterprise, and the Quattro Evo and Quattro 4000 here. So you can see where it fits. Okay, just an overview of the R41 ROAM. So it is made for boosting the signal on the go. So whether you're on the road, you're out at sea, it'll have any application, it'll fit in that market. So it's a new compact design. You'll see that it's actually a lot smaller. Probably about one third of it at the bottom is actually the unit, and then the top 2/3 is a heatsink. So designed for those moving applications in vehicles, maritime, and transportation. It's got a higher uplink power, which ensures that 3G, 4G connectivity back to the tower and at the cell edge. It provides enough coverage for in and around your vehicle, so suitable for most mobile applications. Again, setup and configuration is very simple, using Nextivity's Bluetooth waiver. So the carrier approvals, so Telstra should be the first one that approves it. It's due in August or September. Optus also later in the year, September, November. Vodafone's still a bit up in the air at the moment. It's unconfirmed, as it doesn't have all the Vodafone bands covered. Coverage area, as I said, in and around a vehicle or a caravan. Relays one band at a time. And technology at the moment is 3G and 4G. Band support covers all the carrier bands, including 700 low, 850, 900, 1800, 2100, and 2600, plus band 20. Plus band 26, which is a new thing on Cel-Fi products. That's the 850 expansion band, which we'll talk about coming up. Protection rating, the same as the last product, the G31 IP54, and operating temperature is 0 to 60 degrees. Comes with a full 2-year warranty, and does have carrier switching as well. So when Telstra and Optus both approve it, you'll be able to switch between Telstra and Optus. If Vodafone approve it later, you should be able to switch between Vodafone as well. So the setup. Basic setup is you have your donor antenna outside. Often that signal received by the donor signal is degraded. So as you know, when you're moving around in a mobile application, things like the weather, mountains, buildings, vegetation, and even the vehicle that you're actually in can be a bit of a Faraday's cage. So that'll help in degrading that signal, and often the input signal into the Cel-Fi can be quite poor. That signal is then passed to the ROAM R41, which actively boosts up that signal and then disperses that to your server antenna. So the server antenna sits inside the vehicle, and it will actually spread that boosted mobile signal around your vehicle. So just an important note there, you do need to have some sort of signal at the donor antenna or the ROAM R41 to actually boost it. And also get the wave out there, which is a Bluetooth connection, and we'll talk about the wave coming up. And you've got your 12-volt DC cable and to power the unit, and then you also got a ground cable. Applications. So there's many varying applications We've seen with the G31 mobile units. So the most popular ones are the voice and mobile internet, which covers phones, modems, rugged tablets and PDAs, laptops, as well as the P25 radio handoff to LTE. So a lot of the emergency services vehicles now use the digital P25 radio. When that goes out of range, it will actually roam onto the LTE network. So that's important to have the Cel-Fi products in those vehicles. Transport applications, vehicle and asset tracking. So if it's tracking, if you've got a GPS tracker on board, it does need to get that back to the mobile network. So that's where the Cel-Fi R41, the ROAM R41 comes in handy. Telematics and monitoring of vehicles. If you've got a large fleet, knowing where those vehicles are. Autonomous vehicles, so driverless vehicles, are going to become a really important application in the future, as well as maritime vessels and ports, and also maintenance and alerts for those fleet vehicles as well. Mobile vending is a big one, so having access to mobile FPOS and ATMs in very marginal areas is important. If you've got a pop-up shop with a point of sale system or a ticketing system at a venue, any entertainment or event applications, we see a lot of that. And then IoT and smart cities, so public transport systems, where they need coverage on whether it's a train or a tram, or even a bus. Council asset tracking, tracking all the assets using GPS, and they have to have the boosted mobile signal as well. And then farming vehicles, so it could be precision farming. So a big growing area for mobile applications. And mobile products actually account, out of all our Cel-Fi products, for the most common applications. Just looking at the ports on the unit, so we've got the server antenna port. So the server antenna port is the one that disperses the mobile signal. That's an SMA female port. And then you've got the donor antenna port on the other end. And you see a little picture of a cell tower, so you know where to connect that to. And that communicates with the cell tower. That's also an SMA female port. In the box, you'll get a Cel-Fi mobile server antenna. So that's a little adhesive mount antenna. And you mount it in somewhere in the vehicle or on the dash. And then you've got your donor antennas, which are additional extra. They don't come with the unit. You can choose anything from our Shocker Edge to the GME antennas through the magnetic or the transit series. Just covering the power ports. So the power port on the unit, the input voltage is 11.5 to 15 volts DC. So 24 volt is not supported, so sometimes you'll find 24 volt in trucks or on buses or even on marine vessels. So you do need a down converter from 24 down to 12. Input current 1.5 amps, which is pretty much the same as the G31. Consumption 18 watts max and 12 watt nominal or typical. Comes with a 12 volt CLA or cigarette lighter adapter with a 5 meter cable. And we offer a mains power supply as an optional extra. If you want to run that off, if you're in the caravan park or you're in the marina on your boat and you're connected to shore power, you can use the mains power supply. Yeah, so they're a little cable holder as well. So you see a little gold port on the side. That's where the cable holder adapter goes in to hold the cable. Grounding the unit. So with the product, it does have a grounding point. It's highly recommended to ground the case to protect the product and also prolong its life. So what it actually does is it discharges any excess electricity safely to an earth from the unit. So this is included. It's a 5 centimeter cable which connects, comes with that little grounding screw which connects onto the case. And then you get 5 centimeters to attach to a ground or which is usually the chassis of the vehicle. Comes with a M3 screw supplied, and then the other end of that cable you'll see at the bottom there that attaches to the chassis or common ground. Product labeling. So on the bottom you've got a label on the bottom with a serial number, and it's also on the side of the unit as well. So that's quite often if you've got multiple units. And you're running the Wave app on your smartphone, you can actually see which unit you're connecting to by the serial number. And you've got a factory depot port, your USB port on the side. That's that's only used by distributors or Nextibia themselves. LED indicators, you'll see the little green LED on the front of the unit there, just to have some device operation and error messages. And basically there's no light on, the device isn't powered up. When you've got a solid orange, it's powered on, and then if it's blinking, it's actually booting up, and then it's trying to scan the network for a signal. Once it gets a solid green, then you know it's operating normally and it's actually connected to the network. If you get a red LED, it means there's an error. So the best way to check the errors is actually going to the Wave app, and on the front screen will actually tell you what your error is. Included in the box, so we've got the main ROAM R41 unit. Comes with the CLA cigarette lighter adapter for power. You do get two Velcro carpet adhesive tabs, so these are great for mounting the Cel-Fi carpet, whether it's under the seat or works in the rear of the vehicle. They're really handy. Comes with a server antenna included to disperse the signal with that adhesive back, so you can stick it on something. And then you get your mounting screws, 4 mounting screws for mounting the unit, and also the grounding screw and a few other little screws for mounting that cable. And you also get your ground cable, which is only 5 centimeters long. This just covers the applications, what sort of vehicles. So we've got cars, fleet vehicles, 4-wheel drives is a big market, mining vehicles, taxis and Ubers, government vehicles, a lot of emergency services vehicles use these products. Utility companies, power companies are quite popular. A lot of trades use them. National park vehicles have been extremely popular, farming vehicles, and also tour guides as well. You see this typical setup there in a car. You've got a little magnetic antenna on the roof going down into the ROAM R41, and then you've got the indoor server antenna. Same on a vehicle, quite common, full bar setup, and then the Cel-Fi would be set up either in the front of the vehicle or in a canopy at the rear of the vehicle. Transport applications that range from buses, trains and trams, trucks, courier vans, even through to aviation. So we see a few people wanting to put them in their own private aircraft. Maritime's a big one, so recreational boats, fishing boats, tour boats, tugboats, any fisheries or police or coast guard, marine rescue or life-saving, large cruise ships we've seen, passenger and vehicle ferries, and freight and bulk carriers. So you see a typical setup there. We've got the donor antenna or the marine antenna on the roof. You'll see a little drip lip there, so that's highly recommended when doing your installs. Often in the antenna's mounted up high outdoors, you could get the actual water travelling down the cable. So where it enters the actual vessel or even in a vehicle, having a little loop that goes down and then back up into the vehicle is actually a good idea, because the water can drip down the cable, and then when it hits the bottom of that loop, instead of going back up, it'll actually drip down. So recommended for a lot of installs to stop water getting into the vessel or into the vehicle. Other big market is recreation, so whether people are doing van conversions, having a unit in a caravan, a motorhome, or even large expedition vehicles. The Cel-Fi has been really popular for that. Now we have a look at the ROAM R41 versus the outgoing GO G31. So just to give you an idea, the green areas are the benefits, and the red areas are the not so benefits. So the R41 ROAM, it's now a single model, so you've got a lot more bands supported, as well as the future band 26 expansion band. There is no 700 high, which is the Vodafone 700 band on the unit. In the old G31, you did have 3 models, so one for Telstra, one for Optus, one for Vodafone. It's just great that it's now in a single product. Still relays 1 band at a time. The uplink power has improved, so from 22 to 24 is on the new model, and the old model was 20 to 22. So even that's a 2 dBm difference. It actually equates to up to 60% increase in getting that signal back to the tower. So often you're on a call, you'll be able to make the call, but the other party won't be able to hear you. So getting the signal back to the tower is where the uplink power comes in. And that will mean that basically the Cel-Fi should actually go further than the previous model. Downlink power, so it's now 0 dB. On the old model it was 16. So this indicates the actual output power of the unit, or the coverage area it's going to cover. So now it should cover in and around your vehicle, where before you could actually cover it up, use it in your house, covering up to 1,500 meters squared. So we predict, we don't have a test unit yet, but we do predict that coverage will be similar to the C41 Connect, which has the 0 dB output power as well. And that one can cover about 200 meters squared. So until we test it, we don't know, but that's our prediction, which will really cover probably up to 1 to 3 rooms of the house. It does use the new 4th generation chipset. The old model used the 3rd, so the 4th gives you the potential for 5G. So this product, upon its release, won't support 5G, but it could be upgraded and approved in the future. We just don't know yet. You also need less isolation between the donor and the server antenna. So before you may have needed a minimum of 4 meters. Now it's to get down to a few meters. So we'll test that once we do get the product. Protection ratings, IP54 is the same. Means you really can't use it outdoors. You do need to use it indoors. If you do use it outdoors, we recommend a watertight enclosure, waterproof enclosure. The modes, it is a mobile-only product, so you can't switch it between mobile and stationary like you did for the G31. The price, it is slightly more expensive than the G31 as well. So they're the main differences between the units. The next difference is the size. So how they compare in size, you're looking at it's nearly about 3/4 of the size of the unit, which is going to be great for mounting. It's a lot higher, so if you look at the bottom, pretty much the bottom half of the product is actually the unit, and then the top half is the heatsink. So it's going to be great for dispersing heat. Gives you a good idea. Accessories, so we still offer a range of accessories. We've got our Black Hawk trucker edge antennas, depending on the application, whether you're going out bush, middle of nowhere, or whether you're just cruising the coastal areas. We do have antennas to suit. We also have the GME and the GME range of cellular antennas. The pulse glass and magnetic one is really popular. It's a magnetic antenna that goes on the roof of the vehicle and uses the roof as a ground plane. So it is, even though it's a small antenna, it is quite effective. And then we've got our transit style antennas. We've got the panorama and the pointing one as well. These are often combination antennas where they'll have Wi-Fi built in, GPS, and multiple cellular ports. And we've got our marine antennas, so we've got the Black Hawk marine antenna, as well as the pointing one. The server antennas, if you do want another server antenna, we have those available. As the unit will power from 12 volt only, we do have a 24 to 12 volt converter, which is available. There's an option there, which is one of the Victron ones, and we do have a smaller one than that as well, which they start around about $30 and go up to $120 depending on your requirements. And then we've got a mains power supply, if you do want to power from mains. The waiver, so the Cel-Fi waiver, a lot of you know this already. It's a way for you to actually activate the product, so when you receive it, for it to start boosting, you do need to put in your details and activate the product. You do need you do need internet to be able to do that as well, so that's one thing to keep in mind. So do activate it when you're in an area of good signal. It's got a setup guide, helps you position the donor antenna, which is your outdoor antenna, and also the optimization of the indoor antenna, where to position it. And also you can adjust the bands and the settings in the unit. We've got the registration screen there. You've got the overview, gives you an idea of the signal quality, your signal strength coming in, and also your boost, which is an indication of your isolation between the indoor and the outdoor antenna. You've got the operator you're connected to, it's Telstra or Optus, and then you've got your coverage, which is your 4G, 3G. You can select your operator here, so you can switch between Telstra and then Optus when they approve it. as well as you can rename the product. You can update the software, and then you can select your band, so you can actually select which band you want to be connected to, which band of 3G, which band of 4G. You can also narrow it down to the channels within a band as well. And then you've got all your raw signal measurements for each band. A lot of people don't know about the MyWave app, so this has actually been around for a while. This one, with Cel-Fi products, they will basically, they're boosting what they think is the right band to boost. So often your phone, when you're driving around, will actually connect on multiple bands, and will change depending on your location, how far away you are from the tower, which tower you're connected to. So you might be driving around, you're on the 700 megahertz band in a rural area, you go up into the mountains, you may connect on 1800 megahertz. And the Cel-Fi doesn't know that, so when you do change bands, your phone will actually drop down signal, and you may find the calls actually drop in and out, and you're wondering why. So what this app does when it's running, usually the driver or whoever owns the vehicle will have this app running on their phone, and the Cel-Fi will actually relay the same bands that your phone is on. So it will monitor what band it's on, and it will switch as your phone switches. So it avoids a lot of the dropouts that could occur. And it's very easy to set up. You just put the MyWave, download the MyWave app for Android or Apple onto your phone, and you just turn it on, and it's running. So thank you very much, guys. We do have an FAQ. So these are probably the most common questions we get asked at the moment, which I'll run through. The first one is, does R41 support Vodafone's 700 high band? So as it sits the product today, it doesn't actually support 700 high at Vodafone. It only does 700 low at Telstra and Optus. So it's really suited for those particular carriers. Can I use the R41 ROAM for stationary building applications? So the product was actually designed for mobile applications in mind. So it really is designed around that, with the higher uplink, the 0 dB output power. It's designed for those small little applications. It's really suited for that, and to get the cost down as well. But there's nothing stopping you from purchasing a mains power supply, connecting it into it, and using it to cover 1 or 2 rooms in your home or office. So with an external antenna connected, with a external service antenna, it could be a directional or a dome. We expect the coverage area to be about 200 meters squared, with 100% isolation between your indoor and outdoor antenna. So we don't know that, but we'll test it, and we predict that's going to be the case. So people could actually use it in their vehicles, their caravans, and move back into their house if they really wanted to. There's nothing stopping you from doing that. There is the R41 and the R51 products. There is a bit of a jump up in price, but they are available for that particular application, which will cover your whole house. So just bear that in mind. Next question is, does the R41 support carrier switching? The answer is absolutely yes, it will. It'll support switching between Telstra and Optus once they both approve it. So the operators do need to approve that before it then gets enabled, and hopefully Vodafone will approve that in the future, and then you'll get switching between all 3 carriers. Can I power the R41 from a 24-volt power supply? As we said before, you cannot. So in trucks, buses, large ships, they run off 24-volt systems. You will need a down converter. We offer several Victron models that will convert down from 24 down to 12 volt. And what does the band 26 support offer? So you'll see the band 26 support versus the Cel-Fi products to offer it. So ACMA a year or 2 ago optioned off band 26, which is a lower portion of the 850 band. So Telstra have a lot of that 850 spectrum. Once they widen this channel, it means they may be able to put 5G on it. So we might see 5G on 850 in a lot of rural area and marginal areas from the 1st of July 2024. That's once they switch off the 3G network, and also once the spectrum can be used from that date as well. So one thing to keep in mind, it's a bit of a future-proof for the product, so it is a good selling point to future-proof it from next year. Next question is, do I need to ground the R41? So whilst the R41 does have a ground cable in the power socket. It's still highly recommended to install a grounding point to work the casing. So any electromagnetic signal coming from it is actually grounded to an earth instead of remaining in the case, which could actually damage components inside. So we highly recommend it to protect the device and prolong its life. We recommended actually grounding the product. Next question, what does the higher uplink power mean? So compared to the G31, the R41 has about 60%, up to 60% improvement in the uplink, which is the ability for this device to actually communicate back to the cell tower. Quite often your phone will have a very weak uplink power compared to a booster like this or a computer, and by having that higher uplink, you can then get further from the tower and communicate further away, and your phone, the other party, should be able to hear you a lot better than the G31 could. And the last question we've got is, can I install the R41 outdoors? ROAM R41, it's got an IP54 rating, so it might be splash proof from certain angles and dust proof, but as far as water, jets and being outdoors in the rain, it doesn't have that IP rating, so it just has a basic protection rating, meaning it's not waterproof, and if you do want to put it outside you can, but it has to be in an airtight waterproof enclosure. The temperature can't get above 60 degrees, it does have a maximum of 60, so if you are putting it in hot environments, it's good to have a cooling fan to expel the air and push the air in, and we do have that in our trailers as well for those sort of applications. So thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed the ROAM R41 presentation. It gives you more of an overview. In the future we are hoping to have more of these guides. The next one I want to do is actually an install guide. So installing this in a vehicle will be an aim. So thanks for joining us, and look forward to seeing you next time.